Good morning, scholars, and welcome to your first day of independent workshop activities. Today, you are going to be starting cursive instruction, and I am going to be your teacher, and I'm really excited to have this opportunity. So this morning, your teacher has given you a cursive folder, and this folder is very important. You need to be sure that you take very good care of it, because we're going to be using it for quite a while. Inside, you will see a booklet that looks like the one that is on my screen. This will be your first booklet that we are working through. There are also 2 or 3 very important tools in there that I want to share with you as well. One of them is they're in clear protector sheets. One of them is this cursive alphabet reference chart that should be on the second page. We're going to skip through this. These are videos because I'm going to be doing your videos myself. But you will see this paper here that says check your position. This is a super important reference sheet for you. There are 3 things that you always need to check before you start your cursive writing. And one of them is your posture. And posture means how you are sitting. So if you look at this young man here, and the word posture above there, it says that you're sitting comfortably with your feet flat on the floor and that you're resting both arms on your desk, and you shift your paper as you write. And we'll talk about that in just a moment. So that's our first thing that we're going to check for. So if your posture is correct, you can tell yourself, I'm good with that. The next one is your paper that we're going to check for. So if you go down here on and you can just look at my screen today if you prefer, before you dig into your folder, unless you would just like to look at your folder. When you're writing, you're going to shift or move your paper depending on whether you are left-handed or right-handed. And you actually use your hands as well to make the best writing possible. So if you are left-handed, you see how this scholar has their hand at the top of their paper, and their paper is kind of turned sideways, right? And then if you are right-handed, the scholar has their hand at the top, kind of holding their paper, and the paper is turned so it's comfortable for them, okay? And it tells you if you're left-handed, you're turning your paper towards your left elbow. And if you're right-handed, you're turning it towards your right elbow. On the excuse me, other side of that paper, there are some things that we're going to consider. Now, we're not going to talk about all of these today. We're going to talk about these more as we grow, learning about this together. So it says check your work for shape, size, spacing, linking, and slants. And for right now, you're only focusing on size, okay? So if you see here in this purple box, it says size. And you're probably thinking, why do I have this lined paper again? I'm not in kindergarten or first grade. But when you're learning how to write cursive, it is extremely helpful to make sure that you're following the touch guidelines so that your cursive writing looks correct. So you're going to have these 3 lines, the headline, the midline, and the baseline. Okay, so it's kind of like the headline is the top line, the midline is the middle, and the baseline is the bottom. Okay, all right. So now what we're going to look at today is, and you're going to watch me before you begin practicing on your own. We're going to start with lowercase cursive letters, but we're also going to start with a warm-up practice that's going to help us get used to the shapes or the strokes that we're going to be using most when writing cursive letters. So in this first unit, we're going to be looking at these letters: T, U, W, R, S, I, J, and P, because they all utilize or use an undercurve swing. So here we have that headline, that midline, and that baseline. And for all of these, they start at the base line. So we are practicing this by swimming here, and we're going to do some strokes like that. So I'm going to show you now on my paper what this will look like, okay? All right. So I will be starting again. I have my headline, my midline, and my baseline. And for these, again, I'm going to be turning my paper a little bit towards my right elbow. I'll be starting at the bottom, and I'm going to go like this. And the goal is that I'm not lifting my pencil, okay, until I finish. That's as far as I can reach for that one. And I'm going to do another row right here. Okay, and that is how that should look. Let me go back to here and back to sharing my screen. So you will be warming up with that today. And then after you do that throughout the week, you're going to be able to work on a couple of letters. So I'm going to move on and show you those. So it shows you all of these at once, and it's extremely important that you do use your finger to trace to start learning how to use, how to form these letters. So it will show here you have, for the letter T, you start here and there's that stroke, okay? And then when you have U, it starts here. And for W, it starts here. For R, here. S starts here. I here, J, and P. Okay, so it's wanting you to take your finger and trace those. Okay, so now we're going to move on to starting these letters. Now, there are additional pages after this to practice putting all of these together and joining them. But for now, we are going to focus specifically only on these letters. So we're checking our posture, we're checking our paper, our pencil, and we're gonna start writing. So let me turn mine on as well. And remember, you can at any time pause and practice these on your own. I just want to model showing a couple of these with you. Light down a little bit. There we go. Maybe just try that. Okay, I'm going to start with the T. So I will be starting a little below the midline, and the T does not go all the way up to the line. So I'm going to zoom this in, boys and girls, so you can see. So it has the numbers here for where to start. 1, 2, and then you lift your pencil and go 3 across. Okay, so watch me. 1, 2, and 3. 1, 2, 3. This one I didn't get close enough to that bottom line there. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay, so there is a letter T for you. Okay, now we'll look at the letter U. You'll again just a little bit below that midline there. Okay. Just like that. 1, like that. Awesome. W is very similar. You're just going to make another additional loop. So this one will have 4 movements. But you do not lift your pencil until you're finished with the entire letter. So W is like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And 1, 2, 3, 4. Next, we have the letter R. And R looks like this. It's 3. 1, you go a little above this midline here, and you come down, over, and out like that. It's kind of a strange letter. Up, around, down, up above that midline, over, down, up. All right, and there is your letter R. We have a few more. I'm going to erase these. Now we're going to try S. This is S. It's almost like making that R. You go up, then you go down a little bit and out. Okay. Next is the letter I. This one is 2 strokes, and then you lift and make a dot. Up, around, lift, and dot. Up, around, lift, and dot. Up, around, lift, dot. Around, lift, and dot. Up, around, lift, and dot. J is going to go below the baseline. So you're going to start in the middle as always, but it's going to go down below the baseline. So here goes J. Like that, and then a dot. And a dot. That is J. And our last letter today is the letter P. P is very similar to J, except it has one more loop in there. So when you come up from the J, you're going to make a loop instead. Okay, so watch me. You'll go down, make a loop like this, and then go around, and then go out. Okay, so you do this in all one stroke without lifting. So watch again. Like that. Okay, and that is how you make that. Okay, so let me go back to my regular camera. I know that this is a lot, and you will have all week to practice these letters. after you finish your classwork. I want to go back very quickly into the student notebook again, just to review with you the letters that you will be practicing: T, U, W, R, S, I, J, and P. And I would like for you to stop there and not go on to these other pages, because these other pages, next time we're going to learn about how we are going to join these letters. So you have that to look forward to. I will also provide your teachers with some additional paper, lined paper, so that after you practice, you can work on these at home as well. So I hope that you enjoyed our first cursive lesson together, and I will see you next week. All right, bye everyone.